The Federal Aviation Administration has just issued a sweeping emergency order. All commercial rocket launches and re-entries in the U.S. must now occur only between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. This abrupt, indefinite rule slashes launch opportunities, forcing every space company, from giants like SpaceX to new startups, into a narrow nocturnal window. The FAA claims this is a safety measure, aiming to reduce conflicts with commercial airliners by shifting launches to the quietest hours in the sky. But, for an industry built on precision timing and rapid growth, this feels more like a break than a safeguard. Launch schedules are meticulously calculated, factoring in orbits, payloads, weather, and crew readiness. Now half those options are gone. The order has sent shockwaves through the aerospace community, upending mission plans and business models overnight. The U.S. was leading the world in launch cadence. Now every mission faces a bottleneck. The FAA's decision, born from terrestrial troubles, now dictates celestial ambitions, tying the future of spaceflight to the realities of a government in crisis. The once 24/7 hum of American spaceflight is now forced into the shadows, with no end in sight. The industry's momentum has been muted, its ambitions waiting for the sun to rise again. Why this drastic move? The answer lies in Washington's ongoing government shutdown, which began October 1, 2025. With federal employees furloughed and air traffic controllers working without pay, the FAA faces a critical staffing crisis. Air traffic controllers, already stretched thin, are now overworked and under immense stress, raising the risk of mistakes. Rocket launches require clearing vast airspace, a task now too risky with a depleted workforce. The FAA's night-only rule is a direct response. Limit launches to the quietest hours, reduce controller workload, and de-risk the skies. The agency has also cut commercial flights at major airports by up to 10%, all to keep the system from breaking. Transportation. Secretary Sean Duffy insists this is about safety, not politics, but the impact on the space sector is severe. Political gridlock has triggered a domino effect, unpaid workers, strained airspace, and now a throttled space industry. The path to the stars is blocked, not by technology but by a government at a standstill. Until Washington acts, the skies remain restricted, and America's space ambitions are on hold. The FAA's rule instantly cuts available launch windows in half. Previously, companies could launch at any hour, optimizing for orbits, weather, and mission needs. Now everything must fit into an 8-hour night slot. For missions targeting specific orbits, like the ISS or geosynchronous satellites, timing is dictated by physics, not preference. If the ideal launch moment falls during the day, the mission is grounded or forced into costly redesigns. With all companies vying for the same limited slots, launch ranges and ground crews face a logistical traffic jam. Florida's Space Coast, once buzzing around the clock, now squeezes all activity into a third of the day, increasing stress and risk. Even flexible missions like Starlink deployments are slowed. Delays cascade, disrupting entire launch manifests. The U.S. lead in launch services is being throttled, not by technology, but by a regulatory bottleneck. The smooth, continuous flow of launches is now a congested, hurried race against the clock. Every delay ripples through the industry, stalling innovation and growth. The new normal. A space program forced to operate in the shadows, waiting for daylight to return. The impact was immediate. SpaceX's Starlink launch, set for 5 to 12 p.m. on November 10th, was pushed to 10 p.m., the first legal moment under the new rule. This is just the beginning. At least 3 more SpaceX launches, including a major rideshare mission, now face delays and rescheduling headaches. Blue Origin's New Glenn, carrying NASA's Escapade Mars probes, barely dodged the rule. Any last-minute delay would have meant missing a rare planetary window. United Launch Alliance's Atlas V, already delayed, now faces even more uncertainty. For customers, these aren't just rockets, they're years of investment and critical infrastructure, now hostage to regulatory limbo. Every delay means lost money, missed opportunities, and mounting frustration. The industry's careful choreography has been thrown into chaos. Missions are stacked up, waiting for a sliver of night. The future of countless projects now hinges on a political breakthrough far from the launch pad. Daytime launches aren't just convenient, they're safer and more efficient. Sunlight allows engineers to monitor rockets in real time, spotting issues like debris or anomalies with unmatched clarity. If something goes wrong, tracking debris and coordinating recovery is far easier in daylight. For reusable rockets, daylight landings are safer for crews and hardware. Ground teams work more effectively in natural light, reducing fatigue and human error. Night-only operations over time risk burnout and mistakes. Daytime launches also inspire the public, spectacular, widely shared events that fuel STEM interest and national pride. Forcing all launches into darkness robs the industry of these benefits. The preference for daylight is rooted in safety, efficiency, and the power to inspire. The FAA's rule doesn't just affect the US, it hands a golden opportunity to international competitors. While American companies are bottlenecked, China and others can launch around the clock, accelerating their own programs. Every US delay is a chance for rivals to catch up, deploy satellites, and claim market share. The rapid, iterative testing that fueled American innovation, especially at SpaceX, is now slowed, risking the nation's technological edge. International customers may see the US as less reliable, turning to Europe or Asia for launch services. The rule injects sovereign risk into the market, undermining America's reputation for reliability. Lost launches mean lost revenue, lost influence, and a shrinking share of the global space economy. Even after the rule is lifted, the damage to trust and market position could linger. The US space industry's leadership is suddenly in question. The world is watching and waiting to see if America can regain its momentum. The race for space dominance just got a lot tighter. The key to restoring daytime launches is simple: end the government shutdown. Once Congress and the White House agree on a funding bill, federal workers, including air traffic controllers, can return, and the FAA can lift the restriction. But with no end in sight, the shutdown drags on. And so does the night-only rule. Even after a deal, the FAA warns there will be a lag. Staffing and safety must stabilize before normal operations resume. Waivers for critical missions are possible, but the process is unclear and unreliable. The only real fix is a full return to normalcy. Until then, the American space industry remains hobbled, its ambitions dimmed by political dysfunction. The world's most advanced rockets are ready, but grounded by a crisis far from the launch pad. The journey to the stars is paused, waiting for daylight and for Washington to act. For now, America's space dreams are confined to the night.